The Kastov 7.62, otherwise known as the AK-47, is by far one of the most broken guns in Modern Warfare 2. Most of these setups for this weapon have a very slow mobility, but the setup I got for you has a very high mobility with literally zero recoil. This is for sure one of my favorite guns in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be going over a very high mobility setup, and then after I'll be going over a zero recoil setup, which the high mobility setup literally has no recoil. You guys will see in the gameplay I am beaming the enemies, but if you want one that is built specifically for low recoil, check out the timestamps down below. With all that said though, for the first setup, so a great way to add mobility to your weapon is to go over to the stock and add the Castorama. Pretty much run this on like almost all my builds. It just gives you more sprint speed and then more aim walking speed, which are two pros that are very crucial. We are going to be losing a little bit of our aim and stability, so we got a little bit of sway, but the stray speed is going to be a lot quicker, and then we are going to be tuning it to give us more stray speed. For the next attachment, again, I run this on like almost all my builds. I'm sorry if you guys are tired of it, but it's such a great attachment. That is going to be the OLEV laser. This gives you a lot of mobility, the ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, which are two very crucial aspects of the weapon that you need to have very high, just because across the board for every weapon in this game, these values are very slow. And then we are also getting a lot of aim and stability, bringing up what we are losing with the stock, and then it's adding so much on top of that, and so we don't really need any aim and stability on the weapon. Next up, for the rear grip, so if you want more mobility, I would run the True Tack grip. I believe in my last setup for this weapon I was running the True Tack grip, but I think it's better to have a little bit more flinch resistance, especially since we are going to be using the iron sights on the weapon. For the next attachment, we are going to be adding a attachment that's going to give us a lot of aim and stability. I know I said we don't really need any, but if we go into here, you guys will see there's still a little bit of sway, and that last attachment I literally don't know what else to put on. Like, I don't want to use a barrel, don't want to use a muzzle. Those hurt the mobility way too much, and then the barrels that increase like the mobility are going to hurt the damage range so much. So we are going to be running the shark fin 90. Say you want to run an optic on the weapon, I recommend to take off the shark fin and then just add an optic, because you don't really need more aim and stability. I just don't know what else to use. For the last attachment, we are going to go over to the ammo. This is a great way to increase the overall power of the weapon. If you go over to the ammo and then you add the armor piercing rounds and then you want to tune them, and I'll show you guys the tuning in a second, you actually can give your weapon like 5 to 10% more damage range. Here's the setup for the weapon, and just remember you can take off the shark fin and add an optic. For the tuning on these attachments, just so you guys know, the tuning isn't actually based on a linear scale. For example, if I were to max out this ADS speed, that's not going to give me the most amount of ADS speed. I might get more ADS speed about here, or maybe I'll get the same amount of ADS speed but I'll have less cons, and so never max it out. Always look at this middle graph and then adjust it accordingly. With that said, if you want the most ADS speed and not that many cons, I would bring this to right about right here. The negative 3.22 is the best in my opinion. For the bottom bar, we need to have a lot of stray speed on the weapon. The weapon's already pretty stable with the shark fin and the laser, so we don't need to increase that. So we are going to be increasing that, and if we increase it to right about here, you will get the most amount of stray speed without having that many cons. For the tuning on the shark fin on the bar on the left, we're going to be increasing the recoil stabilization, which is the horizontal recoil. The vertical recoil is super easy to control, but the horizontal, that left to right bounce, that is a lot harder, so I like to play in favor of that. With that said, you want to increase it to plus 0.29 ounces, and then for the bottom bar, we are going to increase the aim walking speed. So I'm going to increase the stray speed, and then right about here is the best one. Typically, it's always going to be like 75% of the way will be the best tune, and then if you notice there's too much sway on the weapon, feel free to increase the aim and stability. For the laser, we cannot tune that, and then we already tuned the stock, and so for the rear grip, you want to tune this for recoil steadiness, just so we get a lot of horizontal recoil control, and I think the ADS speed is already pretty good on the weapon, so I'm just going to increase this by plus 0.43 ounces, and then for the bottom bar, because the sprint to fire speed is so crucial, bring the bar all the way to the left, you'll get the most amount of mobility if you max that out. For the tuning on the armor piercing, you want to max out the damage range, and then you want to max out the bolt velocity, and this is how you can get a little bit more range for your weapon. Bring the damage range up by 0.43 grams, and then for the bottom bar, you just want to max out that bolt velocity. Bring it up by plus 0.427. This is going to give you the most amount of bolt velocity without having that many cons. Just in case you guys want to take some screenshots, here is the tuning, and then we will go over the low no recoil setup. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the no recoil setup, so we kept the laser the same. I think this just is so good that you need to have it on like every class. The enemies can see the laser, so if you do get annoyed, I would just take that off and maybe run an ammo. But for the rest of the attachments, since this setup is going to have a barrel, so the ADS speed is going to be a little bit slower, so we are going to be using this stock, which gives you more ADS speed, and then you get some sprint speed, which is nice. We get some crouch movement speed, but that doesn't really matter. We are going to be losing recoil control, but the barrel that we are going to be adding is going to add all that back, which the barrel that we are going to be running is going to be the Cast 10 584mm barrel. This is going to increase that damage range, bolt velocity, hipfire accuracy, and recoil control. So if we go into the firing range, you guys will see this thing is an absolute beam. The other setup is a beam too, but this thing has a little bit less recoil, and then you also get a pretty good straight speed. So overall, this is actually a pretty good setup. For the underbarrel though, to add more recoil control to the weapon, make sure you add the phase 3 grip. According to exclusive base, this is one of the best underbarrels for recoil control without having that many cons. So now if we go back into here, you guys will see this thing has a little bit of a slower ADS, but that stock is helping out a ton. And then we have way less recoil. Like this thing is a beam. What you guys can also do is actually take off this underbarrel, then you can add the polar fire. This is also a pretty good setup, although the mobility is pretty slow. A little bit of a slower ADS, but there is a little bit less recoil. It feels like there's less recoil, and then you do get that sound suppression, so the enemies are going to have a little bit of a harder time finding you. Lastly, if you want to run an optic, honestly, I would just take off the rear grip, and then I would add an optic, and my favorite optic is going to be the Corona Mini Red Pro. I mean, the Mini Pro, why could I not say that? Now you got an optic. I don't think the weapon really needs it, but the weapon actually is a little bit easier to use with an optic. It's just you get more ADS speed if you don't run an optic. Oh my god. For the tuning on the optic, so you just want to max out the flinch resistance or bring it right about there, and then for the bottom bar, if you want less visual recoil, increase the farness of it. For the tuning on the stock, because the aiming idle stability is already pretty good, we're going to increase the aim walking speed, and then for the bottom bar on the left, you just want to increase the ADS speed because the ADS speed is not the best on the class. For the tuning on the barrel, we're going to max out that damage range. The ADS speed is already pretty bad, so might as well make it a little bit worse, and it's honestly not that noticeable. Then you just want to max that one out, and then for the bottom bar, just so we have less horizontal, max it out for that recoil steadiness. And then lastly, for the phase 3 grip tuning, bring up the recoil stabilization to right about there. This is going to give you a good balance between the horizontal and the ADS speed. And then for the bottom bar, the idle sway isn't too much on the weapon, so I'm just going to be maxing that out. Here's the full no recoil setup, and then if you just want to take screenshots of the tuning, there we go. And I highly suggest watching the gameplay if you want to get better at the game. I dropped a nasty MGB. Chat, you know there is females that watch streams. There's actually like, I think it's 1 in every 10 people, there's 1 female. So if we got 100 people in here, there's 10 ladies in there, and you guys are saying the B word? See how I took that corner like wide and to jump down here so then I would land in like a heady? All about positioning. There's actually, no, in a Cbass chat, there's probably 0. They're like, dude, no. We got Lena. That's pretty much it. I love when you run past someone and then you just hear them chasing after you, so you just lay down and wait. That guy was running over here and then he turned around. Switched up his playstyle on me. Here we get the 1. 30 more to go. Whoa, man's drop shotted. Such a stupid looking pistol when you use it. Yeah. See, like, I can sit back and do very well. I just don't have fun. As much fun. Dude, there is no recoil on this. Oh my god. We're gonna come up behind all these bees, these boxes. We're gonna come up behind these birds. Heck. This man pulled a 180 on me. I hate when you don't see them, like you're looking down your sights and you know they're about to walk around the corner, but then they don't walk around the corner, so you look back at your advanced UAV, and then right when you look at the advanced UAV, they walk around the corner. That is the scariest moment on Earth. Gonna go around. Dude, the advanced UAV needs to tell you if they're above you or below you. It's so fucked up that it doesn't tell you anything. It's actually broken. I thought it was like a bug, but I think they intentionally have it like that. UAV, thank you.
Copy. UAV orbiting the AO. Recon is online.
Threats in the perimeter.
Wait a minute.
Be advised.
Target area updated. Move to the hard point.
I could hear you, buddy. I was going up the ladder, then all of a sudden I hear like so many footsteps. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Mission is half complete. Secure the
Where are you at? Where are you at? Where you at? Where are you gonna come from? Is there a man over here? What the fuck? Where is he?
secure. Enemy care package incoming. Hardpoint compromised. Secure the area.
Oh my god, we got the Juggernaut W's in the chat. Let's go! The speedy nuke coming up. There we go. There we go. Oh, we're warmed up, boys. Oh, we're popping off right now.
Secure the air. Hardpoint relocating.
Ah,
Bye.
fucked up the movement.
Threats in the perimeter. We've got him on the run.
Overwatch Hilo standing by.
Overwatch Hilo. Let's go.
Inbound weapon gun.
Give me my advance. I want the advanced Ravy. Oh shit, I don't even... Ah, dude, I fucking had a brain fry. I forgot how to use that. Oh my god, I had a complete brain fry. I think we just gotta call on this nuke. Let's go, boys. Oh my god. Let's go, easy. Oh, I gotta get Luna. Luna, I'm waking you up. Luna, we got a nuke. Let's go. W's, Luna, W's. W's for the nuke. Let's go. Woo, let's go.
Locating the next.
A little bit like young. I bought a yard today. Let her pay they all yellow like a bird.